and a whole host of some of Vitas Gerulaitis' closer friends, closer lady friends, might add. We're on the campus of UCLA, just adjacent to Pauley Pavilion, where John Wooden had a few fairly good basketball teams. He won 8 titles at Pauley. A couple before that. 15 love. Swung it wide to his forehand.
That's the classic Edberg serve and volley. Good angle on his serve. Pull Sampras out wide and then had an easy volley in the open court.
He's got a lot more punch too on that forehand volley than he did a year ago, Edberg.
And he'll put it away.
That's a great play by Edberg. Barry, I mean, that was a really difficult service return, and he just handled that half volley so well.
Well, he gets caught here on this return. Now watch it, because it dips low. He hits the half volley, but kind of makes it stop. And Sampras had no play but to hit high. Good hands from Edberg there.
I think Edberg's starting to shake his first couple games blues, and he's starting to really hit the volley with a lot more force.
Let's watch here.
There once again that big torque with the legs, and there he just really, that time he looked, he really punched at it a lot harder than he did before, and he gets up so well for the overhead.
Has he been a slow starter in the past?
Yeah. You know, it depends really on the day. I mean, he's not really known as a notorious slow starter.
2-all, Edberg and Sampras. Hey Barry, are you impressed with how well Sampras is handling the pressure center court against a guy he really likes a lot?
Definitely, Drew. He was down that first game. I think that was the key. He was in big trouble on his own serve, pulled that first game out, and I think he's very much in this match.
I almost guessed right, pulled off a miracle there. Love 15.
Nowadays, Barry, though, pretty much everybody's in the match with anyone. I mean, the depth of tennis is so strong.
So true. There's none of those guys with the Bermuda shorts and no socks anymore, Vitas.
Not too many gimmies left out there, huh?
Not anymore.
How deep, as far as the top 50 or 60 when you were playing in your heyday, as opposed to now, how deep do you think in terms of numbers?
Well, I really couldn't really place the number part, but definitely the middle group is just a lot stronger than it was before. You always had a chance to get past the first or second rounds a little bit easier than you are now. I mean, you got to be ready to play a tough first match from the very first day. Oh, that's great.
That's a tremendous pickup.
See, that's where Edberg's so effective. I mean, whenever he has an opportunity to get into the net, he's going to take advantage of it, and that's something you can learn. That's instinct. He hit a great return, and that's where Lendl has a little bit of a problem. You know, he doesn't have that natural ability to sense when he should come into the net, even though he's a good volleyer.
Nicely done. And a couple of great points for Edberg. Both sides here very effective.
Well, Edberg's now starting to show us some of his flair. It's a good return or good preparation, and he just comes right over that. But he set that up. He got down so low to the ball, and he just topped it over with a great angle.
You see a miss hit on the lob, and then a miss hit on the overhead. Works a pretty nice drop shot.
I'd like to say he tried to do that on purpose, the reverse overhead spin, but I don't think that was meant on purpose. It's just the sun, as Barry pointed out before, it's so tough to hit overheads today. He hit it right off the very edge of the racket at the top and produced like a backspin overhead. A shot that you won't see too often.
And Pete said, yeah, I wanted to try that.
Thought he'd say something like years of practice.
And the days of saying I'm sorry are over too, Barry, huh?
That's for sure. You can raise your hand, but you're not very sorry. You know that.
Yeah, that's
Edberg sneaks in and puts it away. So the first break of the match goes the way of the Swede, Stefan Edberg.
You know, all these young tennis stars nowadays,
Yeah, these teenage heartthrobs.
their long hair
And their loud music.
and their flashy colors. I don't know what it is about them. Personally, I prefer a man with a little more experience.
I'm Bob Knoll. My official title is Head of Auto Testing for Consumer Reports magazine, but I really work for you. And there are over 200 people who work for you at Consumer Reports. We test and report on everything from toothpaste to TVs. Right now is a good time to try Consumer Reports because you can get a free trial issue with no strings attached. Here are the details.
Call now for your free trial issue of Consumer Reports, the magazine that gives you all the pros and cons of a product, including price. Call now for your free trial issue, then decide. When the bill arrives, pay it and get 11 more issues, 12 in all, including the annual buying guide issue, for just $20. Or write cancel on the bill and owe nothing. If you do subscribe, you'll also get 2 free gifts. The New Medicine Show, updated and revised, plus the 1990 buying guide issue.
So put Consumer Reports to work for you. Call now.
Call now for Consumer Reports. Call 1-800-634-5700. 1-800-634-5700.
And we're back live. And Edberg's overhead makes it 15 to love. Edberg, if you're just joining us, has just broken Pete Sampras. 3-2 in the first.
And Barry, if there's been one really great improvement in Edberg's game over the last 5 years that I've noticed, even though he's improved all his shots, it's his concentration has improved 100%.
And also, I think, Vitas, he doesn't have those streaks where he'll go through 3 or 4 games and get his dauber down, his head goes down. He used to really be streaky that way. Not anymore.
And he'd get down himself. He'd have that, droopy look.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's gone.
Hard to believe now, but there was a point in time, gentlemen, where they thought that Edberg was not focused enough to be a great player.
Well, he always had the, because Barry pointed out, he used to walk around sometimes, he'd play 3 really bad games and his head would hang. Now, if he gets broken, he gets right back to the baseline and says, come on, let's get back to work and break back.
That's something Pete Sampras was addressing yesterday after his victory over Stoltenberg. He said he has concentration lapses, and somebody asked him, how do you combat that? And he said the only way is just keep playing matches, keep playing tournaments. Would you agree with that?
Definitely. And one thing about Pete Sampras, even though I think Edberg's edge in this match, he's got a favorite, he's a very talented player.
4-2, Edberg holds it love.
Well, so far, no question about it, as we look at this graphic here, it's been quality tennis. As you look at the amount of winners, 13 for Edberg, very impressive, and very few errors, a total of 5. And so we're watching some excellent quality tennis here thus far.
As advertised. Edberg glances up at the sun. Which is the worst side, Barry?
By far over here. Where Sampras is serving from, Drew, is really difficult because when you throw the ball up, you're looking up into that bright sun, and it's right at that spot where you like to toss the ball.
Gotta get that shadow and swing at a blur.
About 30.
Well, that's an example of that little bit of inexperience where sometimes he'll throw in a couple of points where he just doesn't quite concentrate hard enough. And that comes down to experience.
And I think the passing shots that Edberg's been hitting, Vitas, have affected Sampras also. He's saying to himself, I got to hit a little bit better volley when I come in. Makes the error.